Coach, what's your reaction to the...
Hold on 1 second, Jim. Let me go through injuries. Knock this out here. Wes Horton did not practice for the most part. Torrin Harris did not practice for the most part. Juwanza Starling was very limited. Deion Bailey did not practice. George Farmer did not practice. Mark Tyler did not practice. And Rhett Ellison, for the most part, did not practice. Obviously, that's a lot of people banged up. Hopefully, we'll get more guys back on a short week. I'm sure that as you're getting ready to ask, I'm sure most everybody saw what I said last night. And basically, after a lot of conversations, like I said, we agreed to disagree. I am sorry that all this happened. And I have learned from this. I've learned that regardless of questions, I can't answer anything that has to do with a call during a game or any conversation that an official has with me. And so from here on out, I won't be able to respond to anything.
On a somewhat related note, are you concerned at all that this sort of swirling controversy could become a distraction to the team, especially with your sort of theme of no distractions?
No, not at all. They didn't even, when they came in this morning, I don't think any of them knew about it for the most part. We addressed it very quickly in the room, talked about it, said exactly what it was. They said a few things, then we moved forward.
Will there be a satisfactory way to deal with something like that in the future, even if it's private, with you and the league? Or
well, I do that anyway.
Yeah.
But before I say anything to you guys, after the initial ones, I called them and said everything before I said to them. But like I said, learn from this that I can't answer any of your questions.
Why can't you answer questions without going outside the bounds of criticizing the officials?
Because as it's being relayed to me, that the rules state by the conference that you can't comment on officiating.
At all?
At all.
Good, bad, or otherwise?
I'm sure they won't be mad if it's good, but that's what the rule says, what I've been being relayed to me.
What was the message to the team?
Message to the team was really, just moving forward, moving on, just like we already had. We had moved past this, and it has nothing to do with them. They kind of had some conversations that I won't make public, and we're moving forward.
Along those lines of moving forward, Coach, are you a little bit concerned about having maybe a little bit of a letdown, considering you've played at such a high rate of consistency the last couple of weeks?
Well, there are a lot of factors, Jim, in this game that are different. A short week, weather, and night game on the road after 2 emotional games, and so we just got to prepare really well, just like we have. We've played three games of pretty good football, and so we need to keep that up and play real clean football and continue to improve.
Have you written a check yet for that fine?
God, it's so tempting. No, I haven't.
Will they let you do it in installments?
I don't know.
Are you concerned at all about the Manning injuries?
I am a lot more than that, yeah. There are a lot of injuries, a lot of guys banged up on a roster that's already thin, so we just got to, the message to the team was, regardless of injuries, suspensions, whatever happens, we got to pick up the flag and go, whoever gets in there. We've had great stories over our 2 years of backups rising to the occasion, and we're going to need that again.
Did you think they could fine in college, or think it was an NFL thing?
I'm moving on.
There have been other coaches that were reprimanded publicly.
4 of them. I'm moving on.
And it didn't come with a fine.
I'm moving on.
But was there any explanation to you why this warranted that action?
I'm moving on, Gary.
Hey, Lane, can you talk about Nickel Roby, the way he's playing right now? Is that allowing you to do other things defensively that's helping you keep and play man-to-man in the best?
Yeah, I think that's really been a big part of our improvement on defense is Nickel playing well, and then also the last 2 games matching them up on their guys, and really has kind of taken those guys out of the game and taking them out of rhythm, and then obviously 2 huge fourth quarter interceptions that almost win both games for us. He's just playing at a really high level, and it's great to see for a kid that's just a true sophomore.
How does he overcome the size, deficiency with a lot of these guys he's got?
His heart. He plays so hard. Even look at his touchdown. I don't know if he can go back in. He sprints all the way around to the Coliseum, it seemed like, after his touchdown. But that's how he practices. That's who he is. It's who he's been since we met him when he was a junior in high school. He's just a great kid.
Coach, how surprised, or are you surprised at how well the team's been playing recently?
I'm not surprised. It's great to see. We always talk about improving, and we're playing so much better than we were early in the year. You remember those games we were barely winning early in the year versus teams that aren't supposed to be as good as the last couple teams that we've played, and so it's good to see. It's good to see them coming together as a team. They're playing well as a team and they care for each other. And I think this morning in that team meeting was another example of it.
How do you avoid players who are so young overlooking a team like Colorado that's really struggled, and you guys have been playing so well?
Yeah, we always make sure that we go into meetings and show the things that they do well. Colorado's getting healthy. Colorado's played well at home. They've done that for years, including this year with the new staff. They take Cal to overtime, Washington State to 4 points. So, really their blowouts for the most part outside Oregon have been on the road, not at home.
Curtis seemed okay today. Do you think he's going to be all right moving forward after that end of that game? It obviously seems like he's going to have an important role too.
Yeah, he's got to move forward, and he is. And he's had a couple great games in a row. So now he needs to do it again and go up there. And like I've said before, if you go on the road, especially in bad weather conditions, regardless on the road, you better pack your defense and your run game, and he's a critical part of that right now.
Will Mark be available?
I don't know. Doesn't look good.
Has he been cleared? Hasn't been cleared yet.
No.
And what about Dion Bailey? Has he been cleared from his?
No.
Was this game originally, they were talking about a Thursday night game? I mean, could you play a Thursday night game after a Saturday night? Wasn't this originally they were considering this for Thursday night?
Well, usually when they do that, they give you the Saturday before is the new league thing, and I don't think I think that all Thursday games have kind of made that a rule now. For the most part, like any conversations I've been part of for future scheduling, I've been when you're have Thursday, we're going to give you the Saturday, both teams the Saturday before. And so what I recall this game was actually a Saturday game initially, and then it got bumped to Friday.
Would Drew be the guy who will start the game with TJ being unavailable?
Yeah, Drew took the number 1 reps today, and he will, and it's a great opportunity for Drew. Drew's practiced really well, made more interceptions than anybody else in our practices, so it'd be a great opportunity for him to step up.
And if Dion can't go, is Trey Madden the one you're looking at, and what have you seen out of him this year?
Yeah, Trey got thrown in there, into the mix, and a big game obviously the other night, and a lot of stuff going on, so got that under his belt, and he would be the guy that we'd go with, and we have great confidence in him. He's going to be a great player, another one of these great young players.
Do the players know they're going to be in 3D on Friday?
Their coach didn't know that.
Mike, you talked about the improvement that the team's made and played really very well against Stanford. He did so many good things. How do you feel just about the fine, your comments of just sort of take, that's what people are talking about, not necessarily the way you've played and the way you played against Stanford, taking a back seat.
Yeah, our concern is not what people are talking about. Our players, this has nothing to do with them. They played very hard. They know it. We've been over to film. We moved on 48 hours ago from this game, from events about this game, and so this has nothing to do with our players or what they feel.
How limiting is it in terms of game plan or installation, only having the 2 days of practice this week?
A little bit, it just forces you to make sure that you're doing things that you do really well, not try to add a bunch of stuff, especially with a bunch of guys banged up. So, it makes us be a little bit more basic.
I know you can't go into a great detail about it, but TJ was talking a little while ago about how he talked to you and he talked to the team and how he apologized for not being able to be there in the first half this week.
Yeah, it says a lot about him, even though just like you saw in the statements, that's a bang play that's under a second, to make that type of decision, and it just says a lot about TJ. He was down after the game right away, because of the impact that it had on the game, not knowing this part was even coming.
Right.